I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for Dusty, I don't have him. But what I do have is a particular set of experimental farming skills. A set of skills I have acquired over a relatively short YouTube career. The sort of skills that makes me highly entertaining to a person like you. If you subscribe now, I won't look for you. I won't pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will force you to watch a Helldivers 2 video.
Good luck.
Welcome back, fans, to another experiment episode. Before I kick things off, I just want to say thank you to all the new subscribers and all of you thousands and thousands of viewers who liked and viewed the last video. The engagement has been absolutely epic, so much so I've actually had to rethink some of my channel strategy over the next couple of months. My long-term Dusty roleplay series will continue to be a part of the channel, but it's very clear lots of you want to see more of this kind of content, and so I will continue to feed that fire and provide you another crazy adventure. Now, it appears my experimental farming skills have reached the eyes of the powers that be, and in particular I've caught the attention of the National Space Agency. So I'm going to say goodbye to this huge fleet behind me, which have been so fantastic in the No Man's Land series. I'm going to put on my helmet because we're going up. That's right, the FTL drive has been activated and we are on our way to Mars. On the way, I have been given a mission brief, and that is to sort stuff out because they are not happy with the way things have been set up. Well, more on the issues I need to resolve later on in this experiment, but for now I have just arrived. I just need to get myself along this gangplank and then all the way down to the bottom. I am hella high up in the air. I need to get myself into the dome through the airlock and then we can make a plan. It is a seriously long way down, and this SpaceX rocket is absolutely mammoth. Look at the size of it. So I'm just going to get myself down to the bottom, up and over the hill, through the airlock, and away we go. This is all very different. We are here in Mars. I don't know how I'm going to work this one out, but I've got the skills. That's what I've been told. Right, the main airlock doors are now locked and we are repressurized and in a safe situation. So let's get ourselves in and take a look around. I have no idea what to expect. I've just been called up here for my specialist skills in experimental farming. Wow, this place is a lot bigger inside than it looks from the outside. Okay, let me get myself up to an elevated position. I think maybe, yeah, I think it's got to be up here. I got my jetpack on. I should be able to just blast my way up there. Here we go. Oh, crikey, right on the side. Spider-Man launch. Definitely got the terrain here. And actually, gravity, I should be able to jump. Yes, I've got some massive jumps. Here we go. Oh, that's the way to do it. Okay, let me get myself up onto this ridge here. Hopefully a good view of what we've got ahead of us. Oh wow, there are some fields. There's already a small forest. Okay, let me get to the edge, get in position, and then we're going to have a conversation about what it is I'm here to do. So this facility has been set up to create a full ecosystem and biosphere all within this massive dome. They have fields already ploughed out. They have various agricultural facilities. Over the back there you can see 4 mini domes. There's grass in there and that is all set up for animals. So I'll have a quick look over there later. Now we're not here to look at animals. We are here purely for looking at the crops. Just taking myself up with the jetpack in hover mode just so I can get a good old look straight down on the problem we've got ahead of us. Okay, about there, I've got good power, so I'm just going to hover around a bit. So as you can see, we have various fields already carved out, and that's fine. The problem is, this isn't utilizing the space that's available. And given that this is meant to create as much produce as possible and oxygen with the trees, we should be using every square inch of available ground space. So the key goal is to plough out as much of this crater as possible. We're going to have to be careful about what we cut our fields around. But yes, we're going to be extending what's already there. I'm going to have to remove the trees. We're going to have to look at if there's anything that we don't need that's not vital to the operation, if we can get rid of it. And then we're going to plant one single crop and get as much as we can out of the Mars biodome. NASA is funding this major operation and we have pretty much unlimited funds at our disposal. We also have the ability to call in various pieces of equipment and supplies as needed, so that shouldn't be an issue. In fact, there is a shuttle runway right here in front of me, so I have no concerns about acquiring the equipment we need. Just going to slide myself down this slope. The gravity means that actually coming down something as steep as this really isn't an issue at all. It's almost plain sailing. So what I want to do first and foremost is just get my bearings, have a quick look around and make a plan. So jetpacking myself around, we have this bay here for trees and chop logs and obviously an area for wood chip, which we're not going to be utilising, although I feel like we are going to have to get rid of this area of trees here if we're going to maximise the ground space and utilise every square inch for our fields. Just beyond this we have various areas of rock which I don't know if we can get rid of. I have no idea what the integrity of Martian rock is like, whether or not it's something which is going to cause us issues or whether we can just flatten out and dig this. I honestly don't know. Back down on the ground we have these domes which again look absolutely tiny when you're up in the air with your jetpack, but once you're down on the ground these things are absolutely vast. I noticed there's already plenty of equipment here, none of which is going to be of any use to us initially. We want to go big if we're going to be doing this. I'll be calling in a specific set of equipment that we need for this task ahead rather than relying on what's already been provided. As I mentioned in opening, we won't be utilising any of these animal pens. They've got cattle, pigs, sheep and probably chickens, although I think chickens are over the back there. Taking myself up, right, let's head forward again and let's have a look at what we've got over here and in the centre. So various bits of refinery equipment, lots of oxygenating stuff, a crane which in all honesty I have no idea why they need something quite so big. The main command centre is obviously critical to operations, so we cannot take that away and we must not damage that in any way either. Just pulling out and we have our solar array down here in one of the corners. Again, that's fixed. We're going to have to cut our way around this. And then we have another facility as well with a big pile of rock behind. So I think what we're going to need to do is cut our way around, put some fencing up perhaps, but certainly try and reduce the amount of boulders and rocks and lumps that we have to contend with. Something caught my eye in the middle here. Where's it gone? There it is. Something floating. Maybe that's a probe. You can see a shuttle in the background. Yeah, here we go. Some sort of device just floating. I probably shouldn't get too close to it. Let's have a look from underneath. No idea what that is. Obviously critical to operations. But yes, I think I'll ignore that for now. I'll make sure that we don't get too close to that. That's a little bit strange. One of the first things I want to see if we can do is flatten this terrain. So I'm going to call down a stratagem and get this thing flattened instantly. Pew! And there we go. Instant results. Not a bad picture at all. You gotta say, out there somewhere back on Earth, NASA has got all the equipment we need. Lasers, payload, experimental equipment, absolutely anything we're gonna need, they can fire across. Just gotta get rid of one more here. Pew! Lovely job. There's another pile over the back. Let's go and tackle that straight away. Mound to the left and a mound to the right. We'll get rid of those. Pew! Another fantastic job. Now we need to tackle these massive piles of ore. I'm not too sure if this is going to work. They are looking a bit ominous. That's a lot of rock there. If I can get rid of it, I will. But if we can't get rid of the rocks, then we may just have to carve around them. So I have just given this a go and I've just carved a little bit along the edge and I've focused also on this area here. As you can see, I can flatten most of the general terrain, but the rocks, they are just indestructible. And because of the weird Mars vortex we have going on, they just seem to be suspended in space. I don't like that. That means I'm going to be driving around with a massive vehicle, not seeing these things floating at head height and smashing me to bits. So I've decided that it's probably better just to leave these big mountains of ore and just cut around them. Anyway, let's take a quick look at what's actually been supplied to us initially. As I said a minute ago, I don't think I'll be using any of these vehicles. Maybe the odd piece of equipment like a trailer. So we got a small John Deere harvester, we have a cotton picker, a Massey, spreaders. I think that's okay if you were sent here to do a job based on what's already here, but we're not. We're here to sort things out. We're here to maximise the operation, because whoever was sent in initially, whoever laid the land out, didn't do a very strategic job about it. So let me get myself into some vehicles. Get as many of these vehicles put away as possible, and then I'm going shopping. There's a couple more vehicles. There's one around here. Oh, yellow. Oh, it's a fast track. Oh, yes. I do love a fast track. It's only the mini one, mind. It's not the big beast, but it's still a fast track. I also appear to be hauling what looks like sugar beet. We'll keep that in there. We're not going to need it for the purposes of this experiment. I'm going to back myself up with this particular trailer because I may want to use the fast track just for a little bit of logistic work later on in the experiment. Everything has now been stowed inside the storage dome, so I'm going to call down a drop ship and they can collect all of this equipment and get it out of here. Apart from, of course, my JCB, I'm going to keep hold of that. Nothing else here I think I'm going to need. I want to start from a fresh slate, so I'm going to put in my order, and then when they drop that off, they can also pick this stuff up in reverse. First on the agenda then is to get myself set up with a proper forestry machine. We've got to clear those trees, and being that money is no option, I'm going to go big. I mean, why wouldn't you? I think the biggest one in terms of price here is this bad boy. That does look pretty epic, and it looks like it's got a huge reach on it. I don't need the reach in all honesty, but why wouldn't you go big? It makes absolute sense to stick on the eco tracks on this Martian terrain, so I'm definitely going to do that. Jumping into the trucks, I had great success with the Volvo FH16. This was the absolute workhorse of the previous two No Man's Land experiments, but do I want to go there again? Or do I want to go somewhere different? Ah, this is nice. I do like this. I'm a big fan of it. But in all fairness, if we're talking about going big, then you cannot get bigger than the Mac Black Anthem. Look at the size of this thing. Full sleeper cab. Oh my goodness. However, that doesn't give me any options apart from black, and I do need my colours, otherwise I will completely lose track of what's going on. So I'm now looking at the Anthem in day cab configuration. I would love the Sleeper 70, or the 48 fairing, or the standard 48, but you know what? It does give you a much longer wheelbase, and that does make turning a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to use everything I've learned in my previous experiments. Keep things simple, Crimson. I'm going to go for the day cab. I'm going to set my colours up, biggest engines possible, and that's the way we're going to roll. Well, it's been 3 weeks and my delivery has been made, and as you can see, they have made a few changes around here as well. What have they put up? Welcome Mars experimental scientist. Oh yes, they are aware that I am here and I am about to get busy. Our future depends on you. Oh, okay. Well, okay, the pressure's on then. What have we got here? Mars safety notice. You may experience a white sticky substance on your helmet during re-entry. This is normal and common. Oh, I don't want helmet goo. Who wants that? That wasn't in the mission briefing. And then lastly, Mars Entertainment Notice. Subscribe to maintain sanity. Well, I think that says it all, doesn't it? Now the question is, where are my new bits of equipment and all my vehicles? Can't see anything. Nothing over there. Nothing over there. Oh well, jetpack on. Let's go and have a look. Where have they dropped them? Ah, there they are. All the way down there. Right. Let's go and take a look at what we've got. I can already see. Oh, those trucks are looking fantastic. Well, here we go. Payload has been deployed. We've got our lovely Mack trucks. We've got our RK250, which is about to go and cut some trees. Different colours, John Deere, New Holland, JCB, black and white. Our big chopper, which is going to chop everything up into little pieces. And a little Brucey bonus at the end. I couldn't not. This came through. I mean, I thought this was actually like a snow plough, a snow grindery type thing you see on the pistes. But no, this is going to chop up stumps. And it might even take down trees. So it might be the bit of equipment I use most at the end. But I'm going to jump in the 250 here and get things underway. Oh, listen to the growl of that engine. Question is, where am I going? All the way over there. You know what? It's funny. When you're up there with your jetpack and you're high up, everything looks so tiny. But actually, when you're on the ground, everything's quite far apart. I've got a little bit of experience with these machines, but I'm by no means a master. I'm going to get over there. I'm going to start churning through all of these trees. I'm just going to take my time. There's no limit on time on this experiment. It takes so long for communications to get through and for equipment to arrive. At some point, I am going to have to see how many people I need to come and help me out here. Going to have to call in some staff, contract spacemen. But right now, of course, I've got to get this area cleared. Oh, I think it makes sense just to start at the beginning and finish at the end. So I'm going to pick this corner here and just work down through a rough kind of row, I would say. Right, a bit close there. Let me just back up a bit. I need to get this unfolded. Now, is it this one? Yes, that's the one. Oh, that is unbelievable. I hadn't noticed that before. The cab pivots in synchronization with the boom, but it's not actually attached. That looks amazing. Oh, that's so cool. Anyway, I'm already wasting time. Right, let me get myself into position. I'm going to just cut sideways so I can actually see. Right, get that out there and we'll be ready. That's the first one dropped. Just did a quick experiment getting used to the controls. Lift that up. Hopefully if I just swing that over there out of the way. Cut that down. 12-meter lengths. I might as well go as long as I possibly can. One last piece. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a perfect start. However, I've got an awful lot of trees to get through.
Fly so high, I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Flying, get on board. We're smiling on top of the world. Dangerous times, don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. sky on your mind.
I've done a reasonably good job so far. I feel like this is going to punish me though, because A, I've got to get through here and pick all these up, and B, I've done what, a dozen trees? Maybe 10? And there are, well, I was going to say thousands. It's obviously not thousands, but there are many, many trees, and this is going to take a long while. So with that in mind, I am just going to jetpack my way at lightning speed over and pick up the other bit of equipment, the big grinder. Oh, steady, I overshot that then, and down. Right, let's give this big class a go, because if I can start getting rid of some of the stumps, the logs, the lumber, then at least I have a bit more space to maneuver myself. Love that engine. Love it so much. It just... Oh, love the way it starts up. Right, let's back myself out of here. Get myself over. It's a bit of a drive. I went for the twin tyres as well. Got to go for the twin tyres. Why not? Money is no object on these experiments. Not bad in a cab. Pretty standard class 0 on a fare. Couple of extra buttons for all this extra stuff here. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a grab. Okay. So in effect, I can grab and feed my face with lumber. Get myself in position whilst on the move. Fantastic. So yeah, I grabbed that up. Right, where's the first pile? Let's get over here. Let's go for this big one here. There we go. Right. Get that out. Do I want to... No, I don't want to go in the middle, really, do I? I want to kind of go near the end. Right, what's grab? No, that's twist. No, bear with me. Bear with me. Get the grinder on. And now I've somehow got to feed that in there. Gently. Don't think that's got it, so I need to drop that down a bit. This is difficult. This is really difficult. I'm getting stressed. This is stressing me out. I can't work out what's going on. Got to be easier in cab. Got to be. Right, so how come... Right, up is away. Down is nearer. Left and right. Okay, so why have you gone up? Right, that's down. That's to the right. That's down. Right, that's it. That's all we need. Right, I just want to come a little bit closer. Close up the jaws. No, I'm not low enough, so come down a bit. Close up the jaws. Right, good. Now I've got to get it in the mouth of the chewy uppery thingy. Feel like it's working. I feel like I'm in the right direction. What's going to happen when it grabs it though? So can I let go of that now? Yes, I can. Oh, fantastic. That's weird. That looks odd. But it's doing its job. It has chewed that up. And there we go. A whole pile of wood chips in the back. But I do have a massive reservation about this. It's going to take me forever to go through this lot. Okay, whether I stick with this idea, I don't know. We've all seen this on the previous experiments. The first little bit is always where we get our teething problems, and that's where we iron out the general process. This, for me, though, is just a means to an end. I have just got to clear these trees because I need to plough up the ground. So am I making too much of this? Should I make my life just that little bit easier? And I'm thinking, yes, and I've got this in the armoury. So we may as well take this over there and go and have a look at what she can do. Now, if she can take down trees and I can literally just drive at the damn things, that is what I'm going to do. And let me see if I can get these logs. Yes! Oh, there, they just go. They just disappear. You're gone. Yes, gone. I'm basically driving a lumber hoover. Right, let's get this stump. The stumps are a little bit more persistent, actually, than the logs. Get you. You're gone. 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 Oh, this is one hungry, hungry machine. Chomp. Chomp, chomp, chomp. This is the way to do it. I'm going to have this done in no time at all. I'm sorry, RX250. You were great fun, but you're just too damn slow. Just before I get on with this, there's one thing I want to do. And that is activate my invisible speeder bike hover mode on. Okay, and we are off. My goodness, through the Ewok forest as quick as lightning. Just having a quick overview of where I am, what I've done, where I've got to. It's not too bad, but I have been at this for quite some time and I've only really attacked a small percentage. Take a look up there and there's still a whole raft of trees to go. So I'm going to try yet another plan of attack. And you know what they say? Simple is often best. Can't complain at that. It may be basic, but it's quicker than any of the other routes I've taken so far. Let's just slice through these trees, drop them, and I'll use my dev tools to just delete the damn things. That's a fair pile behind me. I'm really happy with that. The chainsaw is genuinely the way to go. But I've got probably 2/3 ahead of me. I think it's time to speed this bad boy up and just see how quickly I can do it. And one for luck. There we go. Job's a good un. Wow. Now, if anyone asks me to go to no man's land and chop down every tree by hand, I will look for you. I will find you. Ha! I have no idea where that intro came from. Just a crazy idea of mine. But that, viewers, is all the trees on Mars dropped. Terrible, terrible ecological disaster. But at some point in the future, I'm sure someone will come back here and plant the entire map with trees. But for now, we've got a bigger job to deal with, which is clearing this lot away and then getting on with cutting some new fields. Well, I've quite literally gone shop crazy and I've bought way too many vehicles, but I'm going to pick and choose the ones I want and I may use them for different things throughout this experiment. So first off is this beautiful versatile 620. Oh, not the fastest thing in the world, but decent amount of power. And basically, you'll see the trend. I'm going for anything that will accept twin wheels. Look at these beasts. So the Class Zeron we had before, the New Holland, the 9R. Oh, they're all lovely. They're very modern, and I love you guys, but I want to go a bit classic. Look at the big bud, the 747. There literally is, as far as I'm aware, nothing bigger. It is absolutely a behemoth of a vehicle. Then we've got the little case here, little case Magnum Special in black. That is a sexy machine. Look at that. Quite low on the old power ratio compared to the others, especially when sat right next to the big bud there. But she's got speed. She'll do 36 miles an hour. So that might come in useful. And then right back down on 15 miles an hour max, we've got the Steiger Tiger ST470. Ooh, I mean, that is some colour, isn't it? I'm not going to lose that out in the field easily enough. And then right at the back here, I can't remember the name of this, but it is a tracked vehicle, Agri-Power, what does it say? T-Wolf. Because it's tracked, it will pull anything. I think you can literally pull the Titanic with that, where you wouldn't have a problem. That SpaceX shuttle, not a problem. Hitch that on the back, we're pulling it. But I've got to pick some for this particular challenge. I think I'm going to start off with 6. I might as well go with some of these classics. If I get fed up with the speed, then I'll just switch them out. I do need to pick up some plows, some cultivators, and all the other equipment before we can get going. I also need to designate exactly where I'm going to be ploughing out these new fields. So after a little bit of time back in the mod hub, you know what? I am back to the FlexiCoil ST820 multi-function cultivator. It does the job. The most important thing is that I can set this to subsoil and I can stick a roller on the back, so it's doing everything we need it to do all in one pass. So I'll set these back tools to rollers. That gives us our rolled field state. The tool type I'm going to set as subsoiler, so it gives us our ploughed field state. And then it's just a case of matching up colours to whatever tractors I'm using. Okay, I've got 4 purchased straight off the bat. A green one for the John Deere 9R, a blue one for the New Holland, a red one for the Versatile right at the back, and obviously a white one which is quite closely aligned to the big bud, so that's going on there. I would have liked to have got one for the Steiger Tiger, but unfortunately this old beast hasn't got enough horsepower. Each of these needs 500 and this hasn't got it. However, the T-Wolf I mentioned earlier is 700 horsepower. Well, I'm ready to get things all hitched up and underway. The first thing I need to do is start up this big bud. Turn up your speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. It's basic as you like in here, but it is classic, it is very functional, and the damn thing works. That's all that matters. Well, here we are taking a look at the map properly for the first time. There are a couple of mounds of rock which we've now actually dealt with. Obviously, some of the key ones are still there, but that's fine. We just can't get rid of that. Some of those, like this one, I believe, have a lot of Martian ore, so we can't touch those. The rest of them have been flattened out. Now, what isn't marked on the map is where all the various little facilities and processing plants are dotted all the way around here. And the problem is, if I was to go and use the map interface to click around and create our massive courseplay areas, I'm going to get myself into all kinds of trouble. And you know I find that quite easy anyway. So I'm just going to head off in my orange rubber gloves, pick up the JCB, and actually manually map out the perimeter and all of the little nuances of the map rather than relying on me clicking randomly on the map. Right, I'm just getting into position, just coming around the edge, right where the dome is that all the vehicles are in, as you can see. And there's this area right in front of me. But I think what I'm going to do first is actually map out the easy areas on the map that are square, and then go around with the JCB and fill in all the gaps. So that is what I have here. I have various fields, 5 at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll make sense. The whole kind of central complex with mission control is right slap bang in the middle here. I've kind of eyeballed it across here. I put myself in various positions just to get a triangulation on the corners, but I think this should work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to try and roll with 6, but there's a whole bunch of stuff over here and it starts to get a little bit flaky around here with various bits and pieces. This area has got the solar array just down in this bottom corner. Obviously there's a patch here, there's a patch around the edge, there's all this around the back. So I think I'm going to get these 5 underway. That will at least give me a ground marking once these have been ploughed in, and then I can come around with the JCB and do as I said and fill in all the gaps. And there we go, field 3 has been mapped out by Courseplay, and I'm going to stick the versatile 620 on there simply because it's nearest. I'm going to go map out each of the others, get all the tractors into position, and then it's time to start cutting these fields. Well, the good news is, with a little bit of advice from some of you followers, I've managed to rack up the speed on these guys. Now that Courseplay has been set up properly, they can max out their speed 24 miles an hour in this case. A full 19.6 miles an hour for the big bud. And when the versatile gets going, he can hit a full 21. Go on, son. However, it is a sad day for the John Deere up here because I just cannot get field 5 to map or field 1 to map, which is a real pain. I had a similar issue on the No Man's Land carrots experiment with field 3, and I've got a feeling it's because there is an object on the map somewhere that Courseplay is getting annoyed with. I can't find it. I'm going to manually go around and see if I can adjust it. I've adjusted this corner up here, which is basically around a pylon. I'm wondering if field 1 is in a similar situation. Well, the versatile is done already. That is unbelievable. These fields are nowhere near the same size as we had in No Man's Land. So I'm going to park up to the side and get out of everyone's way. There are some gaps we need to fill, but I'll deal with that in a minute. I really do want to get these other fields working and mapping out properly. Right, while those guys are just finishing off, let's have a look. Courseplay field 1, we're going to edit this custom field. Right, so that corner's not too bad. Nothing in the way here. Nothing there. That's not going to cause any major issues. That seems to be okay. That is a problem. Okay, so I am going to need to come basically around this. Now that's okay. What I'm going to do is let's grab this middle one. This isn't the easiest interface, I must admit. Hopefully the guys at some point will just make this a little bit easier for us. So what I'm going to do here is just manually pull these over. Now you can use the advanced tools and you can set curves, but I just haven't had enough practice with that to warrant doing it here. And I'm just a bit nervous about deleting the entire thing. So I'm just going to shuffle these down a bit, create myself a nice curve, And then I can come back and adjust this little bit around here if I feel I need to. This is my new curve. Hopefully that's okay. It's not too severe. Some of these big vehicles have huge turning circles. Okay, let's see if that now generates. Bandana John is in the driving seat. Oh, Bandana John loves a big bud. Absolutely loves it. Right, so let's select the Xeron then. Let's go down to create a job, course play field. I'm just going to whack that in that corner. Make sure I'm not selecting another one. Open course generator. I want 4 headlands. Clockwise headland overlap. Not too worried about any of that. Oh, I've got advanced. Yeah, okay, so that's confused me for a bit there. I've turned on the advanced settings, so I've got all these extra things that I don't necessarily want to look at. Field center spiral. Let's just keep it as up and down. Generate field work, and let's see if it's going to work. And now. Oh, that's normally when it fails. Now? This is promising. This is really promising. Mouse is doing the wheel of death. We have a course. Excellent. We have a course. Well, you can definitely get underway then, chap. Well done. Now all I've got to do is find out what's blocking that top field, and then hopefully I can get field 5 underway as well. Things are coming together. I'm not entirely sure what's happened with field 3 there, directly in the middle. Appears to have stopped halfway through. I thought he'd finished, but I'm going to have to send him back out. He's a little bit work shy. But this is better for the class. Happy as Larry now is out in his field. I'll say, it's quite surprising how very fertile this ground is. Just about an inch under the surface of the Martian rock. Fascinating. Who would have known? Time for one last adjustment then. Field 5. I'm going to edit this custom field. Let's have a look what's going on here. Don't think that's much of an issue. I'd just like to make sure things aren't overlapping. Okay, happy with that. So it comes down here. See, this may be clipping. This object may have a bit of overhang. So let's use the advanced tools. Select this entire row here. Down to there, and I can grab that down, and you know what, I'm just going to give myself a lot more space. Basic. Let's select this one and just do a little bit of jiggery pokery. There we go, that's okay. And then on this corner I'm just going to pull these down almost to soften the corner. Yes, we're widening out the data points, but I don't think that's an issue. Flying around here then, don't think there's anything in the way. This is all looking good, unless of course again being close to the cliffs. But that shouldn't make a difference. It will just assume it can plough over that. It's objects which can be the problem. Now I've come around this, and I'm just as close on this field, and that field is now working. So I think I'm going to give it one more go. Select our vehicle. We've got our 9R there. Let's create a job. Course play field. Bosch. Doesn't matter. Bosch. Doesn't matter. Let's hit our generator. We want 4 headlands up and down. And generate and see what happens. It's going to take a bit longer. It's the biggest field. This is promising. Fingers crossed. Have I fixed it? Am I a course play genius? Yes, I am. That's happy days for our very cool and very well dressed tractor driver there. Little goatee, a nice checkered shirt, gingham shirt actually if we want to be specific. And he's off. Oh, this is brilliant. This is good. The experiment is falling into place. We've got over that initial hump that we seem to see time and time again, but things are falling into place. Right, let's have a quick overview of where we are. So field 5 is underway. Field 2 appears to be done. I think the big bud, yeah, has finished on field 4. Field 3, I realise what happened. For some reason, he just started halfway around. So I've just set him to start again, and he's going to fill in his little gaps. Field 1 is underway. He's got this little bit here to navigate, but that's not an issue. So before long, we'll have most of this area mapped out, and then it's time to get out there manually and carve in a couple of new fields. Do I do it manually, or do I try and set up a manual course play area? Tough choice. Well, that's an instant fail, isn't it? And I don't know why he was trying to drive off this hummock here, which I did purposely leave because I wanted it to act as a kind of boundary. But that's not where the courseplay course is, chap. What are you doing over here? Let's get him back up and into position. The courseplay map you can see is behind. I don't know why he's down here. Oh, he's in a right state now. Although 700 horsepower and tracks, this thing will go anywhere. Right, try again then, buddy. Now that is unexpected slippage. I've called in the big bud instead. Shouldn't be any issue with this thing. Let me get out of the way. Whoa, you absolute maniac. Even if he wants to run himself off the edge, he should be able to cope with it. Big tyres, lots and lots of horses. Right, there we go. He's taking that corner as he should do. And he's off. Jetpack time. Now this is not an easy route. As you can see, there is a random lamppost just sat right in the middle there. And I want to see if he manages to work out that he's got to cut around that. Then he's got this kind of tank facility and silo ahead of us. Around the back. And then around this dome with all our vehicles in. And he has to also navigate around this solar array. There's a lot to think about. But it looks like the lamppost is not posing an issue at all for the big bud. I'm hoping this next challenge will just be a walk in the park. Just needs to miss these floating lampposts again. It's amazing what the gravity here on Mars will do to various objects. But yes, not a problem. I'm confident now I can leave the big bud to do what it needs to do on its own. I'm going to go finish round the edges, and I'll bring you all back in when I'm ready to think about lime. Well, that took some doing, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm really happy with the end result. I think I've pretty much got every nook and cranny that I think is feasible on this Mars map. So let's have a quick look around. We've got our vehicle dome immediately in front of us there, and we've cut round, avoiding any lampposts and any pylons as best as we can. The big bud did struggle a little bit trying to get around the solar array, but we managed to get that done in the end. Carved a nice little rectangle around this facility here. Took out pretty much the entire concrete area where the vehicles are dropped off, but who cares, we need the ground. And then slowly brought ourselves around these various pylons, silos and various industries just to make sure we're maximising the amount of ground we can drill. And then back over here to our main animal domes. This was the area I'm probably most, well, I was going to say disappointed, but maybe frustrated with. The fact of the matter is there's so much going on here. There's ore, there's silos, there's cranes, there's domes. I just can't get the vehicles in and out. So I decided just to leave this as is rather than wasting huge amounts of time trying to get this mapped out as well. I'm happy that that is the area we are going to be working with. It's late in September. I need to cool down another payload. This time I'm looking at trailers for the lime and hopefully some form of fast and wide seeder that also fertilises. Just waiting on this delivery. It's been a couple of weeks and I hate this waiting around. We're almost into October. I want to get the lime in the ground, I want to get fertiliser, I want to get seed in, but it's always about the waiting. So while I'm waiting for my delivery and this rocket to turn up with supplies, I'm running out of chips as well, so that is a priority. I just wanted to have a look at the map and just see where everything is. So nothing is fertilized. The ground is not particularly fertile here. In my no man's land experiment, when I carved out that field, it automatically seemed to give it that first stage of fertilization. So I will have to whack something in the ground. My plan is to use the same seeder I used last time, which will allow me to add second stage of fertilization at the same time as drilling, but I do need to get some fertilizer in first. The whole area needs lime, and I can get that out there fairly quickly. But I think this time round I'll get that first pass of fertilizer in first, then use the lime, and I'll be able to see exactly where I've been when I'm drilling the ground. In terms of stones, yes, there's a lot of stones, but I just don't have it in me to add removing stones as an extra step in this process. If things are successful, I may come back and deal with it, but right now it's not a priority. And then lastly, just to check, we have this lovely seed bed ground status using that multi-tool cultivator, which gives us that subsoil effect with the rollers on the back. A fantastic bit of kit, highly recommend it. Well, thank you for sticking with me here. Months and months have passed, but it is now a lovely crisp morning in October. The Martian sun is just coming up over the horizon, and I've had a delivery. If the first thing I need to do is get some fertilizer in the ground, I'd better grab myself a Mac. What a lovely place to be. Engine on, put some lights on, and let's get out there. Now, there are no roads out here now. It is just ploughed field as far as the eye can see. So I've just got to get myself over here. It's a bit bumpy. These stones are a bit of a nuisance. I can see the dome in the rear view mirror. It's kind of eerie the way that it just disappears off into the foggy distance. But here we are. Here's our trailers. Here are our seeders. Everything we need to complete our task. We're cocked, locked and ready to rock. Just got to get these boys out in the field. Right, everyone is in position. Everyone has been allocated a field. Horseplay routes are mapped in. Let's get phase 2 field prep underway. While the trucks are spreading all that fertilizer, I best get some of these tractors down and get them all hitched up to the seeders, because that'll be coming up real soon. And just while I'm here, what do you think of the new brand logo? I'll be introducing this across the channel over the next couple of episodes, but I gotta say, I think it's looking rather sharp. I'd be very keen to find out if I can get t-shirts, sweatshirts and caps made up in real life. It's got such a big engine on it, when you start it up, it makes everything else around it shudder. These planters only require 250 horsepower, so I've got the opportunity to get the case out in the field. Be honest, this thing is very much like a moon buggy, the way it bounces around, these big fat round over tyres. It's definitely suited to be out here, that's for sure. There we go, a lovely row of lovely ladies all ready to hit that soil. I was going to call it Earth, but technically it's not Earth. Ready to hit that Mars. We definitely don't want to annoy any geologists. Christ, those guys are hard as rock. And now field 6 is cleared, we should be able to actually get this field dealt with. So I'll just map out the course play area. All set, ready to go, start job, and that should be Colonel Mustard underway. Well, certainly making good progress, but I am getting this striping effect, which was mentioned by a viewer on the last experiment, and that is that when I'm using fertilizer, the width isn't quite as wide as lime, but even though it gives me a figure for the width, it's not quite the same when you're actually out in the field. So these extra bits here, I am going to have to go through and just do manually. That's not a big problem. I need to get someone on field 8, and then there's a few little bits like this, which I added just to make sure I'm getting maximum yield, and I'll have to go and do those manually as well. Just picking up the edge bits here with Reverend Green, doing a great job. It's definitely got a slightly different feel to it, this experiment. The map is nowhere near as big as No Man's Land, but it's got so many objects that you have to tailor your approach differently. Just getting Captain Black into position just over this hummock here. And then he can start. I think it's field 8. This little very peculiar shaped field has caused issues with courseplay in the past. But I'll get him into roughly the right spot, get the map laid out and see how he gets on. Although he has seemed to have missed a fair amount on field 7 here. These gaps, I'm going to do a bit of investigation. I have got an idea what that might be. But right now we want to create a job. Let's stick him in this field. Open and close. We want 2 headlands. We want that overlapping so we don't get those funny triangular shapes that get missed. Let's generate the course. Course is done, and then start job. Right, and this is what I'm noticing. We have an offset, so let's reduce this down. I don't know where that's come from or whether that's something that's been automated. I'm going to set this down to 0. Can I scroll with my mouse? No, I have to click this. Click and hold. No, okay, just keep going. Hopefully when I get to 0, that should sort out the gaps we're getting in our ups and downs. I'm hoping that that doesn't reset the overlap on the headlands though. Well, I'm sure we'll find out soon enough either way. Field 5 is looking properly finished, so I think we can jump straight into getting the lime out there. There's a little patch here on 2 and down this edge, so I'll come around and finish these up. 9 is looking nice. My little bit there I've filled in, great. 6 needs a bit of attention, so does 4. Wow, 7 is really bad. However, our funky little field 8 here seems to be okay. No major gaps, so I think that offset setting is what was causing all the issues. I've got to say, we are almost done here with the lime spreading. So that's fertilizer in, that's lime in. That means the fields are prepped. We are very, very close to completing phase 2. I just need to go around and fill up these gaps which get missed between each of the course play areas. And then, ladies, it'll be your turn to get out in the field. I'm riding Mrs. Peacock fairly hard at the moment, just trying to get round all these edges and all the extra little pieces that I've done outside of the courseplay maps. It doesn't take long, but it is a job that still needs doing. Will I get up here? Yes, that's how we roll. Well, that's it. Just heading down to deal with these bits here, and then I'm all finished. Phase 2, done. Well, here we are then. It's May, we've got a bit of rain overhead. Bit strange considering Mars has a very thin, almost non-existent atmosphere. Hey ho, the fields are first stage fertilised, they are lined and they're ready to take some seed. Now I appreciate I haven't actually discussed what crop we're putting in the ground. Although I suspect those of you who either read the description or look at the thumbnail will have noticed what's on the agenda. The way I see it, we need a high carb, high starch vegetable that isn't a potato. And having absolutely smashed through the carrots in the No Man's Land experiment, I think it's time we propagated the perfect plot of parsnips. Pure perfection. But before I get underway with all of our lovely tractors over there, it's time for a viewer interactive challenge. So whether you're a regular viewer, a subscriber, a channel member, I want you to hit that comment box down below and tell me what other crazy experiments you think I should record for the channel. The only criteria is it needs to be realistic. If somebody puts in those comments that I need to head over to Silver Run Valley and hand cut down every single tree on that map, well, let's be serious. It's not going to happen, is it? But there might be something that you've always thought, I'd love to do that, I just haven't got the time. Or I'd love to do that, but I don't know how. Then stick it in a comment and I'll get it recorded. Anyway, back to business. I'm using the same Kinsey planter that I use in the No Man's Land series because it allows me to plant and fertilise and do it at a decent speed and width. I've got the typical colours for each of the core brands, and I've also added the brand logo where it's available. So we've got the class behind me, a case here, a blue New Holland and a green John Deere. This Mars biodome continues to amaze me. It manages to keep all the gas inside and the pressure all contained, but somehow managed to allow rain from a non-existent atmosphere to fall through and land on the cab. I can hear it. Also got no radio waves out here. It's tuned into FM 102.3, but I'm getting absolutely diddly squat off the radio. It's moments like this I realise I'm really quite alone out here. So let me go through and quickly set up these courseplay areas then. Field 1, 18.2 metre width on these planters. I want 4 headlands. I want an overlap of, well, 10 to 12. I'll stick it on 11 just to make sure you don't get that kind of crazy corner effect as they go around the headland. I think that's it. Let's generate our course. I'll do every single other vehicle I've got, get 6 fields underway, and then we'll pick things up once the guys are out there. The sun is coming out though. The rain is easing off. That's a good thing. The Versatile is underway. The New Holland is about to get going. Are they having a clash? I hope not. Come on, boys, you can get past there. To me. Come by. To me. Oh, he's not going to do it, is he? Is that Bandana John? John, you know better than this. You can get through there. I'm just getting the big bud into position and then I'll get a contractor in there and he can crack on with field 4. But the next tractor is one we haven't used yet. I'm looking forward to it. This tasty little Case Magnum. And I'm just blasting her all the way up to field 5 because it's quite large and the speed is going to pay dividends. Mind the New Holland though. Last but not least, the Steiger Tiger. This is going to be interesting. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but it bounces around like a space hopper. And I think I'll stick him on field 6 just to get him into the swing of things, shall we say. 4 headlands. I want 10%, 11%, that will do. Generate the course. Course generated. First waypoint set. Away you go, son. Bobbling and bouncing all over the shop. Only the best attire for the Case Magnum Black. Look at it. Blue gingham shirt, sunglasses, deck shoes, and oh yes, some beige chinos. You, sir, are the smartest dressed farmer I have ever seen. Very close to completion, just a few of these little bits to tidy up, the corners, the joins, and those added pieces I've put on myself. And then we just need sunshine, a bit of moisture, and a good crop to harvest. Everything's packed away, the rest of the team are all stowed up ahead of me, so I'm going to get myself off this field, going to get myself washed and clean, and then it's just a case of waiting. But it won't be long before we can go out there and harvest. Phase 3 planting is complete. We've made it. A couple of months have passed. It's now September, and those parsnips are looking so ready for the picking. My team of preferred harvesters are out there. The T440, absolutely loved it in no man's land. One of the primary reasons why I chose to do parsnips again here in Mars. Let's take a quick look at the crop. Not bad at all. Look at that. Really, really good crop. Let's take a careful step out there. Got the HUD up so you can see we are 98% yield bonus, 100% fertilised. I don't think there's anything else we could have done here. Have I missed a step? It was rolled, it was ploughed, it had 2 stages of fertiliser. I think that's absolutely everything. What am I missing for that last 2%? One of you will know. Stick it in the comments. Thank you. That aside though, let's get over and get into those harvesters. Well, I said I'd go shop crazy at some point in this experiment, and I've gone and done it. I've got 8 T440s here. We've got 8 fields, so we're going to need 8 pieces of equipment. It's simple maths, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, although I have these lovely ladies here and they work an absolute treat, I do still have these trailers, and I started with these in the last experiment and they're fine, but they don't haul quite as much as we need. So we're constantly chasing after and the carting process just takes forever. So I'm going to upgrade these. I'm not going to bring in some more T440s like I did last time. These are fast. They get some serious speed up when they want to get going, but that's not how I want to do it this time round. So I need to get to the shop. I need to call down an emergency deployment. Then we can get things underway. So I'm jumping straight into my mods here, and I am going for the Colossus Harvesters pack. I have had a look at this before, and I have actually had it installed before, even though I haven't used it. So we have this Colossus Root Harvester, which is fundamentally exactly what we've got going on with the T440. The things that I want to look at now is the Root Cart and the Titan Trailer. Both of these will hold up to 5,000 cubic meters. The Titan Trailer is obviously a lot cheaper and doesn't require a tractor with a PTO and power, although that said, the root cart only needs 300 horsepower. Now, in an ideal world, and if I had the time, I would, as I said before, be setting up proper courseplay and auto drive with carters who collect with the root cart and then dump off to trucks that can then go and stick it in a silo. I'm already on my 5th day of recording, and I just don't have it in me to go around and set all that up. So really, it's just a case of how many of these I want to purchase and stick out in the fields. The irritating thing is I can't use my trucks because we don't have the right hitch, which means the fastest speed we've currently got is, I think, 32 miles an hour on the Class Xerion. However, one tasty little feature is we do have another coupling here. So I could have a couple of these all in a train, and that means at least we are reducing the number of backwards and forwards runs we have to do between the actual harvester and the silo. So what I'm going to do is I am going to buy a load of these unrealistic versions. Actually, we want unrealistic 2. There we go, 5,000 cubic meters. I'm going to go set up everything else, get my colors sorted, and then we're going to get out there. Here we go. I am so glad NASA is funding this mission because I have gone absolutely spend crazy. So to start off, I have purchased a couple of these root carts, one for the New Holland and one for the Class. I just want to see what they're like. If they're no good, I can swap them out. And then I have a plethora of these trailers. I think I need to pick up a couple of more because I want 2 on each if possible. That is already looking like an awful lot of equipment, but I'm going to allocate 1 per field and I should get this done in no time. Now, one thing I noticed that even though I did buy headers, and you will see that earlier on in the video, strangely, they've disappeared. Now, during a save, something has happened, but it does open up a unique opportunity. Because back inside the Colossus Harvesters pack, I do have the opportunity now to purchase the unrealistic root crop header. Now, this is actually based on the same header that you get with the T440 pack, but it has some unique features, so we can set a fake or unrealistic working width. And if I turn on the guides, you'll see that is almost double the standard width, and this will go up to 20 meters, 50 meters. In fact, I can't even see. The guides are way off there. I just switched out the color for that lovely turd brown. And it is giving me a bit of a dilemma because yes, I do like to use mods, but yes, I also like to maintain realism. And if I was to use this with an unrealistic working width, it doesn't actually sit too well with me. So this is my plan. I have gone for standard headers. I know I could cheat and whack it up to 50 meters, but I just don't feel right doing that. I've got 8 vehicles. I don't need to cheat. However, I am going to cheat. So the turd over here, the big brown machine, we're going to consider that to be mine, and I have got on a 50 meter ultra unrealistic header here. So for all the little bits and finishing off at the end, I'm going to use this thing. Everyone else, you follow by the rules and we'll get things done naturally. So we've got all the Holmers set up, we've got the trailers. We just need to creep through here, and I need to go and pick up all the tractors which are currently stored in this massive dome. It was the only place I could fit them. Hello, ladies. Start your engines, please. Just look at that lot. We are ready. Everyone's got their trailers or their auger wagons. The harvesters are all queued up, biting at the bit. It's time to harvest. First things first, it's a trip to courseplay and the vehicle settings for each of these harvesters. I want to whack this up to as high as possible. Now, this could be dangerous because they will go up to 200 miles an hour. 124, that's more than enough. So we have seen them have issues in the past, but let's just see how they cope. If needs be, I will cap it at 60. Okay, last few to go. If you were unaware, you can actually hit this with your mouse if you're on a PC and just type in the figures, which does make life a bit quicker, especially when you're trying to set up 8, 9, 10 different vehicles all at once. Courseplay top speeds have all been set now, and that's just a prime example of how these experiments get more fluid as we go on. I'm starting to pick up lots of little nuances, techniques and tricks from you guys, which is just helping speed things up. First things first, I'm going to get Miss Scarlet out in the field. Field 1 is nicely mapped. I've gone for 6 headlands, I've got a 10% overlap, and I've set the corners to rounded rather than smooth this time. I just want to make sure we miss these edges that we seem to get on each of the corners. We're already seeing issues with the AI trying to handle 124 miles an hour. The acceleration on these things is crazy, and she's snaking all over the place. Just want to see how she gets on, because it will set a precedent for the rest of the guys. May have to adjust them down to 60 miles an hour. She seems okay at the moment. It's when she gets to the corners, that's when we're going to have a bit of fun. And a corner is coming up. Wait for it, and there we go. Look at that. I mean, the speed is insane. As long as she can keep within the boundaries of the course and pick it up again, I'm not too concerned. Well, I'm going to give it a go. We can only but try, can't we? Let's get Mrs. Peacock out in the field and get her into field 2. Colonel Mustard is kicking off. He's handling field 3. Reverend Green is heading out towards field 4. Colonel Mustard is on it. Look at him go. Can't even keep up with the camera. Oh, nice bit of steering there. And Miss Scarlet is gone for dust. Bye-bye. Mrs. White pulling a handbrake stop there. She may only be a cook, but she's one hell of a driver. Sending out Sergeant Black all the way over to field 6. Apologies viewers, field 7. That's fully mapped in. And of course we've got Bandana John in the driving seat, so this will be a crazy experience. And he's off. We've got the turquoise Terminid out here on field 9. Sorry, I'm running out of colour-based fictional character names. That leaves field 8 to deal with and field 6, which currently has all the tractors on. So what I'm going to do is get some tractors out in various locations, hopefully not in the way of any of the harvesters. And then I can focus on 8 and maybe 6 myself with my ever so slightly naughty, terrible turd. However, we have got issues across the map, ladies and gentlemen. Mrs. White is having a kiss and a cuddle with the turquoise Terminid. Reverend Green is keen to get into those silos before anyone else. Captain Black's given it up and gone home for a cup of tea. As a military man, Colonel Mustard is pushing on despite the odds. Mrs. Peacock appears to be okay as well. And the ever lovely Miss Scarlet is also doing a fantastic job. So I best hop in some of these vehicles. I think I'm going to have to tweak the maximum speed down. I think 60 was around a safe spot last time. Hopefully that will stop them flying off the edge of the map. Are you alright? You sure you know what you're doing? If you want to back up a bit and then continue round, we'll worry about the silos later. Oh, she's off. And I have no idea where she's going. Back on track. Okay, that's good. Let's deal with the rest of them then. Well, I'm going to have to use some Hulk power here. I'm just going to have to lift the turquoise terminid out the way. Let Mrs. White continue doing what she's doing. I've no idea where the turquoise terminid's meant to be. Well, a quick view from up in Skycam. Everything's looking okay. Everyone seems to be doing what they should be. Now that I've got everyone organised, I've set all the top speeds down to 60 mph. That seems to have helped. However, I think I may have overshot some of the adjustments because Mrs. White, bless her, well, she is a bit old, I suppose. She's crawling along. Dear oh dear. Yes, as suspected, there's the culprit. 6.2 miles an hour. We want that to 60. Thank you very much. And that's better. She's back in the game. Whereas Captain Black is having an absolute nightmare with one of these anti-gravity lampposts. I'm going to have to help out. I really want to get out in the field myself. Come on, people. Just moving the tractors out of the way, and Colonel Mustard's just appeared out of nowhere. I think he's massively overshot his landing point. All the tractors have now been cleared off this field 6, so I finally have the opportunity to do a little bit of cheating with the turd. So let's get the engine on in here, and I want to get that header down. Get myself out in the field. Now I've got 50 metres on this, unrealistic width. I have no idea where that's going to take me, so I'm just going to stick it in the middle and give it a go. Unfold the back first. Power on. Well, there we go. There's the width, and how far is it going over there? Oh wow, okay. So I should be able to... I'm going to fill this hopper so fast. Look at that! Oh, it's a cheater's paradise. It's not realistic. It's not how I like to game, but for the sake of a bit of fun and to try out something new on an experiment that you guys may want to try yourself, I'll tell you what, you can't knock it. Look at me go! And that's it. I swear that was about 45 seconds. Unbelievable. They say you can't polish a turd, but this thing is epic. Right, time for a quick status on hoppers then. 88% on Miss Scarlet, 53% on Mrs. Peacock, but she's gone in for a cup of tea. It's around that time, isn't it? Need to have your tea and cake if you're a proper British lady. Colonel Mustard also at 55. He's gone into wax his tash, that's most important. Reverend Green at 59%, continuing to do God's good work. Mrs. White is keen to make some parsnip soup later on, so she's banging on at 85%. Captain Black's had some issues though, only 36%. Maybe this is just a little bit too windy-windy for the power and speed of this particular vehicle. And then of course there's me in the turd, 84%. And do you know what? I could just smash through this myself. I'm doing it. It's ridiculous. Oh, I shouldn't, but I am. And that's mostly because the turquoise terminid has gone completely off course, has lost where he is, and has no idea what's going on. Only done one headland, so why are you so off track, mate? Let me get you back where you need to be. Oh, it's all going to pot, ladies and gentlemen. Reverend Green, who is doing good work, has now just gone on a random wander across the map. He's so far from home. Mrs. White is full. I think it's time we get down here with the big bud. And so is Miss Scarlet. Oh, it's all happening now. All hands on deck, people. All hands on deck. No, don't pull away. Ah. This is going to be the problem. I can't keep up with them in these tractors. Even though they've got 10 million litres worth of haulage behind them, I just can't keep up with them. What I might be able to do is just pin her in with my tail while I get the front. No. Oh, this is going to get very irritating. Well, I'm not often disappointed, but it's just not working. I wanted to get these lovely big tractors with their big trailers out in the field, but they just can't keep up with these big harvesters. Got Mrs. White up here, she's finished. Miss Scarlet's finished. Colonel Mustard is nearly there. Reverend Green, there's flashing lights all over the place. I think I'm going to have to revert to the previous plan from No Man's Land, get some more T440s out there, and just haul it by hand. However, good news, ladies and gentlemen, the particular mod that I'm using here has had an update and will now take 5 million litres in its maximum capacity. Engine, we're going to go for 5,000 horsepower, 200 miles an hour. And I think we just need a fleet of these now. And here we go, 3 of these puppies will be more than enough to cover the map. Right, let's get them out there because there's guys waiting to push on. Speed is ridiculous, absolutely insane. 78, 80, 88 miles an hour. We are going back in time. 100. It's gonna hit 200. I don't even know. I don't care. Sorry, Miss Scarlet. I need to see if we can make the speed. Oh dear, there's a wall coming up. There's a wall coming up. What a machine! I've left that one up there on the ridge. That's blown my mind, that has. Well, out the way, out the way. Driving here, drifting, 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 still drifting. Oh, mate, these are some serious skills. Okay, let's stop messing around. Got an experiment to finish. Come on then. Can't see we're going to have any problem keeping up with you now. Yeah, that's what we need. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Cutting on the inside. Oh, lovely overtaking manoeuvre there. Drifting in. Come on, come on. And that's everything. Right, off to Mrs. White. Next, Colonel Mustard. Whoosh! Do wish they'd just keep their pipe out. Just leave it out, guys, and I will come and collect whatever you've got. Just wait, just wait, just wait. Have some patience. It will take seconds to offload. 50%, 53. This is working really well. I should have just followed this route from the very beginning. Last but not least, Reverend Green. Some serious braking. Okay, fill me up, Buttercup. What is going on with Mrs. White? That is not looking good. Well, we have another casualty of speed and power. Do you know what? I think it's time to put an end to courseplay. It's time for me and the turd to finish the job. So I'm going to return everyone to the silos and offload what they've already got, and then I'm going to finish everything off myself. I'm pretty sure I can do it quicker with this 50-metre wide header anyway.
That is your chance to be
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Okay, that is everyone. So I'm gonna get the header down, the header on, and let's just get this finished. Well, nice work, Mr. Brown. You've done a fantastic job there, as have the rest of you lovely ladies, to be honest. But now it's time to give you all the one thing you've been waiting for at least the last hour and 20 minutes, and that is the final results. Just elevating myself up in my jetpack just to have a look at the terrain. What an amazing landscape. It has been hugely challenging, actually more so than the No Man's Land map. And that is definitely because of all these additional facilities you can see spotted around. That just makes things a little bit more difficult. Here we are then. We've got 7 silos. Each can hold up to 10 million litres of crop. And I have absolutely no idea what's in each, because I have just been randomly dumping off just to make sure that I haven't really got a clue till the very end. Right, in silo number 1, we have 1,540,026 litres. Silo number 2, 3,180,311 litres. Silo number 3, 1,935,222. Silo number 4, 1,916,038 litres. Silo number 5, 1 million dead. Silo number 6, 837,050 litres. And last but never least, silo number 7 comes in at 3,420,152. And that gives us a grand figure of 13,828,799 litres of parsnips. Mrs. White is gonna be busy making parsnip soup for the rest of her life, I would say. And I've got to say thank you to each and every one of these big machines, because they have been absolutely amazing as ever. I cannot understate just how much I love this T440 mod. It's unbelievable. And I think for those of you who are happy to use a very unrealistic version, then you can go with the 50-meter wide header like these. The Colossus pack is fantastic, so definitely go and check that out. The big tractors were yet again the absolute star of the show. I love these guys. They do such a fantastic job. Hello, little fast track. I know I didn't get to use you very much, but you've always had a soft place in my heart. And the big bud, wowzers. This was fantastic. It's been a great mod on FS for God knows how long, and it's just nice to be able to use it in a video. The Mack trucks, or Lover Mack, these guys did a fantastic job of fertilizing and liming. What a brilliant team, and this trailer, which I've used twice now, is an absolute godsend. And of course the specialist equipment that we used at the very beginning to clear that massive forest, that ended up being more of a challenge than the rest of the experiment. But yes, some great equipment. Unfortunately, this didn't turn out to be as good as I thought it would be, and I think that purely comes down to weight. It may have 700 horses and it may be tracked, but it's got absolutely no purchase on the ground because there's no weight to it. So definitely bear that in mind when you do your own experiments. And then out the back we have the Cedars, another great mod. I'll put all the mod names down in the description for you all. So what did we make on our final figure? Well, if you were to sell almost 14 million litres of parsnips and you were to sell them in January, the best month to do so, then selling at £522 or euros per 1,000 litres, you can expect to make a cool $7,228,175. Well, that's it from me. Thank you for joining me again on another epic experiment here on Mars. Don't forget to let me know what you think I should tackle next. I'm going to go have a lie down. This has taken a very long while to put together, but I hope you enjoy it. Thanks to all you subscribers, thank you channel members, and if it's your first time here, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Take care now everyone. Bye bye.